give them the grace. Yeah, they're mainly targeting the non-white ones. Yeah, because you have a lot of white people who coming out and saying, yeah, my dad's from Sweden or Poland, and he's an illegal immigrant, but they never touched him. Yeah, it is some racism involved. Yeah, we already knew that, but you already knew that too because you want to claim you're brown, quote unquote. So you already knew what the game was, and that's my gripe. You know, I don't want to hear that black and brown unity bullshit now that you getting your ass handed to you. No. You played your hand. Now you gotta suffer the consequences of your actions. Same thing with Asians. Oh, you know, black people taking on spots in Yale and all these Ivy Leagues, and we're gonna have to go out the affirmative action because it's discriminating against us. Okay. Go for it. Now look at you. Your numbers are going down, not ours. Your numbers are going down. You want to know who numbers haven't gone down but went up? White people. Y'all keep falling for this okie doke and then want black people to come save you? No, fuck y'all. Y'all keep trying to play this proximity to whiteness bullshit, and then want us to come help you when you fall on your face. No, suffer the consequences of your actions. And like I said, I lost friends because I said, look, I don't agree. I may not agree with how ICE is conducting stuff, but I also don't care. I lost friends because of it. And they're not even illegal immigrants. They're American. I don't care. I'm not about to sit here and shed a tear because your community voted for this, and now you getting what you wanted. And now you want black people to come and take bullets for you? Fuck you. No, like real shit. And then you gonna want to call us the hard R? You didn't go at the white cop like
they went to riots like you Nick.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You didn't go at the white cop like that. You ain't go at the Latinos cop like that. You picked the one lone black cop and went in on him.
It's looking like the Purge.
Right. But you ain't go at the Latino officers, you ain't go at the white officers or the Asian officers. You picked the one lone black cop and went in on him.
I didn't know that.
Most of California is white and Latino. It's hardly any black people. Then we finding out more information coming out. Y'all firebombed black people out their neighborhoods. Latinos did that. So like, bro, I'm not about to sit here and feel bad for y'all because y'all more racist than white people. At least over there, it was Latinos with a KKK out in California. No, I ain't about to feel sorry for y'all. Fuck y'all. The fuck? You want to be American, but you waving a fucking Mexican flag.
Yeah, that literally doesn't make sense. Like,
we just want to come over here and have a better life home. Come on, S.A.
That's a little racist.
All right, cool. I don't care. They make fun of us. I don't care. Yo, cool. I get you want to have a better life. Do it the proper way. Because I damn sure can't take my black ass to Mexico and expect Mexico to give me room and board and housing and clothing and medicine, let me enroll in school. No, Mexico's going to lock my black ass up and kick me out. Like I said, it's no other country in the world. No other country in the world could I go sneak in and expect to get food, housing, and clothing and medical treatment for free. There is no other country in the world I can go and expect that.
Canada.
Outside of Canada. You know what I mean. Canada. But most of the time, you got to sneak. Most of the time, they're sneaking through the U.S. to get to Canada.
And half of the EU, which is part of the problem with the EU right now. But that's a different...
Right, that's a different conversation. I'm talking about when we're talking about on this hemisphere, they're not coming from south of the border. They're not flying to Canada and then coming down. They're literally walking through a fence. And the fact that they walk through a fence into black neighborhoods and we're giving more assistance than American citizens is what I'm mad about. And that's why I think Latinos, they don't seem to understand. Your cousins, your abuela walked through a fence and got more assistance than our grandmothers get. And our grandmothers paid taxes, worked 40, 50 years paying into Social Security. And your abuela got more benefits and rights than our grandmothers, who worked here all their lives. So no, I'm not about to feel sorry for you. I'm not about to shed a tear for you. None of that. Fuck you. Get the fuck out. You want to come here? Do it the legal way.
I mean, I mostly agree. Not everything, but I don't have anything against Latinos or whatever, but yeah, illegal immigration, it destroys the labor force here. Plus, seeing them again get resources not given to American citizens is a slap in the face. Not to mention, like I said, the people who are the most, or should be the most upset about it, are the legal immigrants, because for someone to come here the honest way take like 10 years to, you know, get their permanent residence or become a citizen, just to see someone sneak over the border and get immediate resources that they weren't entitled to as someone doing it the right way is completely demoralizing. Like, I would think they, once they got their citizenship, were some of the main people within the Latino community probably voting against you know, Kamala Harris and voting for Trump, because they hate illegal immigrants more. Like, a lot of people forget the leader of Chicano rights back in the day, I think he formed the United Farm Workers or whatever, Cesar Chavez, was completely against illegal immigration because he knew it destroyed American labor force, and he knew also that those illegal immigrants would get exploited by American corporations, you know, using them as a cheap labor source, since, you know, they don't have slaves anymore. And,
Yeah.
and a lot of these folks were actually surprised once these people were getting deported that they couldn't tap into the black community to pick their oranges and shit. Like, yeah, no.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You're gonna actually have to pay people like a livable income, like, and you're not gonna get around it.
What the fuck make you think black people gonna go out and work in a fucking field for a white man? Like, the optics alone of a white farmer going to black people, hey, can you pick some fruit? Can you pick some vegetables in my field?
But
the optics of it alone, like, come on, bro. You gotta have better sense than that to think motherfuckers was gonna do that.
And then, like I said, the Mexicans in LA rioting and stuff was completely self-defeating, because if you wanted to say, hey, we're Americans, the last thing you should be doing is waving a Mexican flag, causing mayhem. Like, you're just making yourself more accessible to deportation. Like, you're helping ICE. And then what was a slap in the face was seeing black Democrats crashing out over these illegal immigrants in a way that they would have never done for black people when we were going through the police brutality, when we were losing voting rights and all these other sort of things. I didn't see one black politician sneaking into offices and crashing out and getting arrested.
The only one I saw doing that, and he was a local politician in Chicago, but as far as like federal level, never crashing out. They never crashed out like that for black American issues.
So, and
that's my problem.
And that's why I voted for Donald Trump. Like, I don't believe in black Democrats. I think they're a fucking joke.
I agree.
I think all Democrats are a joke, but definitely black liberal Democrats are a fucking joke. And hearing, like, I forgot that old woman's name, but the one they want to call auntie, I'm like, that bitch ain't my auntie, because she's sitting there like questioning people and trying to, you know, dox ICE and all. Like, no, okay, so you're putting these people's lives at danger for what? I mean, you know, that's not benefiting you. I hate the Democrats. I think they're the biggest bunch of hypocrites. At least Republicans, you know what it is. Like, if they say, you know, we're such and such, you can kind of take them at their word for it. But Democrats, again, are the warnings that Malcolm X gave us 60 years ago about the liberal fox.
I mean, I will say this, on two fronts. My issue with the Latino, with some Latinos, not all, is it was an African dude, and I do see this shit, and I've seen this shit happen before, that they'll go to another immigrant. They don't care if he's black or not. he can be African. It doesn't matter as long as he's another immigrant. They'll go to another immigrant and tell the immigrant to fire all the black workers, the black American workers, and bring their people in. And it was an African guy, and he even talked about it. Like, he had his own company, he had a federal contract, he had some black dudes working, and how the Latino dudes were like, fire them. I'll bring some Latino dudes, and they'll work a lot harder. And he was like, yo, I'm African, yeah, but I'm still black. Like, I'm not going to fire black people.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot of anti-black racism in the Latino.
And that's why I'm saying, I'm not saying all Latinos are like that, but I have seen bullshit like that. That's why I'm like, I don't feel bad for y'all, because y'all gonna do for y'all, they're gonna do for their group.
Well, I don't feel bad for them, because if you voted for this, then
no, that's another thing. I don't feel bad for you.
Then
on that front, I don't feel bad for you. Whether you're legal or not, you already knew what it was. Now, as far as the ICE thing, I don't necessarily disagree with doxing them, but here's my reasoning though. I don't agree with them coming in with plain clothes, no badge, unmarked cars with face masks on.
Well, the only reason they're doing that is because
you
danger they pose to agents.
But no, it doesn't matter though. You're a police officer. You should.
They're federal agents. They're not just regular police.
You still should have.
And it's just like special operations. Most of the time, they cover their face or they grow beards. So
but yeah, that's military. That's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Again, we already seen multiple cases of people dressing up, pretending to be ICE, and snatching people, robbing people.
But that's different. Like, you still have to.
No, they're not showing warrants. But that's the thing. They're not showing warrants. They're literally just have face masks on. They're not identifying themselves. They don't have any badge numbers. They don't have a badge on. They're just literally wearing regular clothes and a face mask and just saying they're ICE. They're not presenting any type of badge, no documentation, and they're just taking advantage of it. Hence how the guy literally committed a political assassination. He just had on a ski mask, had on a mask, dressed up like a cop, and that's it. Or another lady got robbed in Philly because a dude dressed up, and he was a black dude. He just put a mask on, regular clothes, said, yeah, I'm ICE, and just robbed the lady. Another dude raped the lady. Like, it does present an issue. I'm not saying to dox the officers, that's wrong. However, you have to identify yourself as law enforcement, because now you're creating a situation where, so how do I know you're law enforcement? Because anybody can put on a ski mask or an American flag mask, put on a flannel shirt and some jeans and say I'm ICE. Now what? Because now we're inching towards the whole, the 2A's people's, doomsday fantasy of you have rogue or the Gestapo just kicking in your door and they're not identifying them.
Yeah, but I think that's Democratic propaganda. Like, they do have on stuff that says federal police.
But they don't. They're literally wearing regular clothes. They're not wearing
a uniform, but they wear a shirt that says
no, they're not.
No,
they're not. They're literally wearing plain clothes.
Except probably when they come into like
they're wearing regular clothes.
Certain environments, like
they're wearing regular clothes. Like, literally, nothing on them says federal anything. Nothing on them says police. They're literally wearing a flannel shirt or t-shirts.
Well,
they're wearing nothing that identifies them as police.
Well,
that's the issue.
If people were worried about that, they should have looked into the Patriot Act back in 2001. I'm tired of people not knowing their political history and having short memory spans of things that happened in 2001 under Bush, and then they're wondering the after effects of it now.
Well, most people were kids when that happened.
Well, that doesn't matter. They got smartphones. Like, they can look up anything else. They can look up how to get to such and such place to go fuck or whatever. But they can't use Google to find out Department of Homeland Security Patriot Act of 2001. I mean, it was literally a movie that talked about that, the Harvey Dent Act and Dark Knight trilogy. That was talking about the Patriot Act. Like, there's stuff out there. There's no excuse for ignorance. It's just like when they say there's no ignorance of the law is not a defense against breaking the law. It's like the same thing. Like, you can't be mad when there's information out there that tells you of this stuff that
I mean,
what law enforcement is allowed and not allowed to do on a federal level because of the Patriot Act of 2001. Like, look it up. So people need to do that and be like, all right, so we shouldn't have let Obama reauthorize the Patriot Act. Duh. It was conservatives that were against the Patriot Act of 2001 because they thought it went too far. They were against the establishment of the Department of Homeland Security, but people didn't listen to them. So now they are suffering it, and yeah, so a lot of them are doing the stuff they're doing is legal because federal agents were authorized to do so through stuff like the Patriot Act. So, I'm not saying that it's justified,
so ICE is under Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's what they voted for.
But this is why I voted against Bush. I was for Ralph Nader, but yeah, I mean.
Oh well, hey, at the end of the day, this is what you voted for. If ICE is legally bound to not wear anything identifiable that they are police officers and snatch people off the street.
I mean, because back then they weren't doing it to illegal immigrants. They were doing it to people who they thought were Muslim and South Asian and Middle Eastern.
Well, hey,
they were the so-called niggas of that era. So.
Oh, hey. Well, again, if ICE is legally allowed to wear a fucking Batman shirt and some khaki and some jeans and grab your ass off the street, that's on you. You voted for that.
And again, during Obama, they let him reauthorize it and didn't rate. I know those Democrats wagged a finger at him. No one wagged a finger at him when he became the deporter in chief. He was sending way more people back home than Trump has. But it's Obama.
I think the issue was how it was done.
He's the Jesus Christ of the Democratic Party.
I think it's how it was done. The only argument I can give that is how it was done. That's the only argument.
He literally had those same
the camps
during the Obama era. And
were they separate? Were they just snatching kids and putting them in camp? I think that was the
issue. They were
issue.
snatching everyone. And
I'm saying I think the argument was with Trump. When Trump was on was how they were handling the kids.
And then
they couldn't find, like, kids were being separated from the parents, and parents couldn't find their children.
That didn't start with him.
Now, Obama was doing that shit, then absolutely he was wrong. But yeah,
and then, like I said, in 2008, when Hillary and Obama were running against each other, they sounded like freaking MAGA conservatives. Like, the way they were talking about immigrants and stuff, like, they were trying to outdo each other, talking about how they would deal with the immigrant problem. And then you can jump all the way back to, like, 1996 with Bill Clinton talking about we need to, get rid of these illegal immigrants. And, like, that's why I say, like, people's political ignorance, or
I would say short-term memory.
With short-term memory is why, like, they act like all this stuff is suddenly under Trump. Like, he's carrying out basically policies that's been in place for, like, the past 30 years. It may be more extreme now, but again, y'all can blame George W. Bush for that, for the Patriot Act of 2001. But anyway, getting back, like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to feel sorry for people who voted for this. On top of that, then you're practicing anti-black racism against the very people you're asking for support during your struggle. And on top of that, everyone who goes through a struggle need to stop asking black people to come in. Like, no, you fight for your own rights. Like, with the Asian thing, look, a lot of them have this whole thing in their communities that the nail that sticks out is the one that get hammered. So they don't like to be politically active because they think being politically active just makes you more of a target. Okay, fine. But then when they were claiming they were getting their ass beat after the
COVID thing, now all of a sudden, it's black people are beating us. No, it was
well, not just that, but they were asking black people to come out to support them for the anti-Asian hate and all that sort of stuff. And it's like,
no.
And then with the slap in the face with the
Asian hate crime, that was a slap in the face.
Well, that too, but with the
affirmative action,
it's like affirmative action hadn't even been benefiting black people for the past 30 years or so. The only people it was helping, well, the first people it was helping mostly were white women. And then aside from that, it was non-black immigrants.
I was going to say, once Obama came in and he put in DEI, it was gay people.
I don't know about affirmative action, but like,
I know, I'm talking about at the build up from affirmative action with Obama was
DEI was just like affirmative action 2.0.
No, I said that was for gay people.
But And then that still mostly benefited white women too, because every time something is put in place specifically for black people, white women somehow
become at the top of the list.
Yeah. Becky like, oh no, I need some of this. Look here, Tyrone.
I'm impressed.
I'm gonna break it open for you, and you're gonna like help me get some of these benefits too. Yes, sir, my Nubian Swedish queen. But like
I said, but do you want? I keep trying to tell black people like, could be because black people, you know, some of the ones I know, like, oh my god, all this going on, like, yo, why black people just partying and shit? I'm like, yo, you know how much shit we done gone through over the centuries in this country?
And talk about we're next. We're not immigrants.
We're not immigrants too, bro. America has always been fucking with us.
Besides that, we never stopped being next. Like,
right, right. That's why we just chilling. Like, yo,
y'all just the flavor of the month.
Exactly.
Like it was, you know, it was Middle Eastern and Muslim people back in the 2000s.
Then when COVID came, it was Asians.
Now
it was your turn.
When the COVID era was Asians. Now it's your turn. So we'll get a new flavor. I mean, and then, you know, ICE is sending back everyone. They're sending back immigrants from Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, and Europe. Like, it's Russian. I've seen Russian people getting deported. Like,
they just not televising all of them super hard.
But like I said, the media has its certain biases, is only focusing on the Latino immigrants.
Because it makes
there's like,
it's more newsworthy.
There's hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans getting sent back too. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica is like, you come back to the island, you mashing up the island, you're gonna see a judge or you're gonna see a maker. Like, he was like straight up like, y'all, these are, hey, y'all Jamaicans, so y'all always welcome back, but y'all come up in here mashing up the island, y'all gonna see that judge or you're gonna see your maker. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, so shout out to all the Haitians and Jamaicans. But yeah, we don't care. And I mean, y'all delineated yourself from black people, so now y'all mad. Well, y'all calling yourself FBA, but we're all black. That wasn't what y'all was saying back in the day.
Nope. Y'all black when it's convenient for y'all.
He was calling us Yankee and all that other. I don't care, but you know, whatever. So,
like I said, y'all.
I don't have anything against any particular group, but illegal immigrants drain the resources, and like we were saying, like, you can't go to most other countries where these people come from, like the Western nations, yes, but most of the countries that these people come from have way harsher immigration laws, and people from Mexico, I definitely don't want to hear it. First of all, a lot of the actual Mexicans don't even fuck with Mexican Americans like that. I mean, and if you don't believe me, you can watch Selena back in the day when they were saying, well, maybe we shouldn't let her speak because they're gonna think she's just American because she speaks Spanish funny and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, Mexicans and Mexican Americans are not the same. Mexicans consider Mexican Americans Americans for the most part, and Mexican government has way harsher policies on other Latino immigrants. Like, they don't fuck with like Guatemalans and all this sort of stuff coming into their country. They will boot them with the quickness. They don't. You think ICE is harsh? Let some Central Americans try to come up in Mexico and see how the Mexican government treats them.
All I'm saying is, I can't sneak into China.
And on top of that, like, they're trying to paint, you know, anyone who supports this as racist. The Latino community is racist as fuck. Look at the way they treat Afro-Latinos and or mestizos. Like this one Mexican guy was saying, the true Mexicans are the indigenous folks. He said they're 5'4", they're brown skinned, their head is pushed all the way back, and that's his words, not mine. And he was like, because they are the descendants of the Mayans and Aztecs. He said those are the true Mexica. He said not these folks who are mostly, like, you know,
light skin,
you know, mostly Spaniard descent. He's like, they're the true Mexicans, and he said they get treated poorly in that country. So the Latino community is very racist, and so it's hard to have sympathy on people who are blatantly racist within their own communities, but don't like it when it's happening to them. It's like, you thought your white adjacency protected you, but you forgot having that Z at the end of your name makes you not very American here. Estevez, sorry, but I mean, shout out to the Afro Latino. I feel like they're more like they kind of ally themselves more with the black community than some of these other black immigrant groups. But whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about it.
I will vote for Donald Trump. I ain't gonna lie, that song funny as shit.
I like the one by Frank Lucas. He said, "Black Donald Trump is back in the building, AK Big Dick Donnie."
Nah, I'm talking about the Latinos that they had their little song for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump.
But yeah, it's just insane that you out there.
That shit was funny.
It's just insane to actually be right. Like, you would think this was a parody if it didn't really happen on the news, that you would see someone rioting and saying they don't want to be deported to the very country they're waving the flag of. That is insane. Like, that literally doesn't make any sense to me.
Absolutely not.
And like, your activists are the worst people for their own causes, because activists actively, pun intended, like pretty much lose sympathy for their causes. So,
like I said, I'm not against. I don't have anything against Latinos personally. I'm just not gonna feel sorry for you because the man told you what was gonna happen.
But keep the thick Latinas.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
The man told you what was gonna happen. You still voted for it, and now you want to cry. You know, you got
because a lot of them
have buyer's remorse.
A lot of them thought they were exempt.
Pretty much, but you know, salsa dance your asses back across that border.
And the godmother of salsa was a black Afro Latina.
Save yourself, black man.